Hey people, it's Nahas Toki. I wanted to cover this story because it seemed quite interesting. So, this is from The Guardian, how the Venice of Africa is losing its battle against the rising ocean. St. Louis, the old colonial capital of Senegal, faces a flooding threat that has already seen entire villages lost to the Atlantic. Amef Dagne points to a single tree submerged in the ocean. It is barely visible from the patch of land where he is standing. 50 meters away, the few branches emerging from the water mark the place where he proposed to his wife 35 years earlier. It used to be the town square of Dun Baba Die, a vibrant fishing community on the outskirts of St. Louis in northern Senegal. The village has been wiped off the map of only the tree and crumbling walls of an abandoned school remaining in testament to its existence. Everything else is 1.5 meters underwater. This was home. I was born here. Everything which was important to me happened here, said Amef, the former village chief. Dun Babadier is the southern part of Langue de Barbarie, a thin sandy strip of land protecting St. Louis, former colonial capital of Senegal, from the ocean. St. Louis, a city of 230,000 and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is nestled between the mouth of the Senegal River and the Atlantic. The French chose St. Louis as the capital because of its strategic location, which allowed the city to flourish in colonial times. But today, the Venice of Africa is being eaten up by the rising water. Crossing the Fade Herb Bridge, which connects the colorful city center to the mainland, it seems as if you can almost touch the water. The state of a permanent flood alert has become the city's new normal. In St. Louis, the consequences of climate crisis are tangible. Thousands of people uprooted, houses destroyed, hundreds of children attending classes in the evening instead of in the morning because the school has been swept into the ocean. The World Bank, which recently allotted 24 million euros, 20 million pounds, to combat the effects of climate change in St. Louis, estimates that 10,000 people in the city or either displaced or live in 20 meters of the waterline, the high risk zone. This is just the beginning. According to a study commissioned by the Senegalese government, 80% of St. Louis territory will be at risk of flooding by 2080, and 150,000 people will have to relocate. Most of West Africa's coastal cities, home to 105 million people, face a similar threat. Mangone Diagne from the regional division of Senegal's environmental ministry put it bluntly, St. Louis is surrounded by water and is incredibly vulnerable to climate change. But the damage was caused both by nature and by men. He was referring to an engineering mistake which contributed to the deterioration of the Langue de Barbarie. In 2003, heavy rainfall caused the Senegal River to rise rapidly, putting St. Louis at risk of flooding. As a quick fix, local government dug a 4-meter wide breach or canal cutting through the Langue de Barbarie. The effect has been the opposite of the one intended. Although at first the river level dropped, the breach quickly started to expand. It is now 6 kilometers wide and has cut off part of the peninsula, turning it into an island and flooding Dun Babadia. It has also upset the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. The canal brought seawater into the river, increasing its salinity level. This has affected the population of rare bird species in the river, forcing fishermen to enter into Mauritanian waters, which is dangerous and illegal, as well as wiping out the coconut trees and mangroves that once protected the shores. Local crops, already destabilized by irregular rainy seasons and sandstorms, were further damaged. MF, among more than 800 former inhabitants of Dun Babadie, are among the victims forced to move away from the peninsula without any support from the state. We are fishermen, we know the ocean, so we left at the good moment and nobody got hurt, says MF before correcting himself. We were fishermen. Since this community was dispersed, MF's fishing boat at Pirogue remains largely unused. We live too far from the ocean now. I was not only deprived of my home but also my livelihood. Inhabitants of the Langue de Barbarie are from the Lebu ethnic group who have been fishermen for centuries. Boys learn the necessary skills from an early age, but Amif wants his sons to have an education. 3 of them are in primary school and 2 at university. For us, Lebu, the ocean is our lifeblood. But it's hard to make a living as a fisherman today. This is why so many young men from the community are migrating. I want my sons to have a choice. North of the Langue de Barbarie Peninsula, the fishing district of Guet Nadar was hit by a 4-meter wave one night in September 2017. The ensuing flood affected more than 100 houses, a school, a mosque, and part of the cemetery. The homeless were put in a makeshift camp next to the airport. The ocean eventually receded, leaving a scene of devastation. Against the backdrop of crumbling walls and half-wrecked buildings, French President Emmanuel Macron visited in February 2018 and pledged an extra 15 million euros to build a seawall to protect the remaining infrastructure. But by April of that year, part of the seawall had collapsed, letting the ocean take over. Amif isn't counting neither on the World Bank nor on Macron. Thanks to financing for the UN, he returns once a year to the place where his old village stood and plants trees. He hopes that the mangroves and philos and exotic species of pine can stop the destruction of the shoreline. Although he had to move physically, my mind and spirit stayed here. and I hope one day I can move back, he says. Well, I hope you found that interesting. This is a very sad story because these people's community is being destroyed by global warming, possibly, or just a natural weather shift. Anyway, for those who are all talk about that passport game and traveling abroad, this is a place that people should visit in Africa because it's not going to be around forever. Like, it's already 2020, and who knows how much will be left by the time they say it should be permanently gone. So anyway, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this channel, leave a GoFundMe in the description. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll leave that there as well. Peace.